YouTube loves a series, a sequence of similar videos covering a similar topic, and luckily, so do I, and some of you do too. So I began covering these hyper mega tech super micro keychain gamers a few weeks ago. We've worked our way through as a series of 4. This is the third one of the series. The first couple weren't exactly what I hoped they would be, but we're going to evaluate this one on its own merits. That's up next.
This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. As I mentioned, these little keychain gamer players that are being manufactured by Hyper Megatech, the people that are well known for the Super Pocket, the line of little handhelds that have a really nice screen, all the controls, the bumpers, compatible with Evercade games, really high-end stuff. These are about half the size and about a third the price. We've looked at the first 2 in this series. This is the third one. It's labeled Centipede with the licensing, but like was Asteroids before, it has 3 games. You have Centipede, Millipede, and you have Crystal Castles, all of which trackball games. But it seems that they've chosen versions of the games that were ported to systems that didn't have or typically use a trackball, so designed for a D-pad or a joystick. So you have that working for you. At least they put them all together so you could like them or not. I don't know what to expect out of these from previous history with these units, but we're going to give it a fair shake. Let's go. So let's see what Hyper Megatech hath wrought with this third entry in the series of the Super Micro Keychain Gamers. Now this one in particular, this is a 3-hitter again, so 3 different games on there, so a little increased value for your money. This one is themed off of Centipede, but if we check the back, we can see that's not all you get. You're going to get Centipede, you're going to get Millipede, and you're going to get Crystal Castles. And I'm going to use air quotes when I say the names of those games, because at a glance, this looks like 7,800 Centipede, 7,800 Millipede, and 2,600 Crystal Castles. And yet we have seen over and over that really what's happening on these, they tend to look like little Nox, little Nintendo on chip, or NOAC, what are you going to call them? And so not only are they not the arcade originals, not only are they not the console they look like, but they may even be rewrites that we saw especially true on well, everything we looked at so far. The Space Invaders, the Asteroids one. So that being said, does not mean I'm going to prejudge this particular unit just because the previous 2 we looked at maybe weren't what we're looking at, but I want to see what we have in this Centipede Super Micro. Let's get it open, take a closer look. Inside, we have our little Centipede Keychain Gamer, and just one piece of propaganda in this case. The top lists the 4 different Super Micros you can collect, as well as all the myriad of different Super Pockets. And on the back, a little quick start guide. Here are the buttons, here's the screen, here's how you put in the batteries. We won't be needing that again. Let's get after a quick tour of the hardware. Of course, we have a little keychain accessory there to hook that on your keys, or your bag, your purse, your belt loop, or whatever you may have. On the front, have this little screen. Maybe it might be a 2-inch screen. I don't see them advertise the size. It might be a little under 2, but you've seen these before. It's the size of this decal on the front. We have a 4-way directional D-pad, which yeah, makes sense, I guess. I mean, even though Crystal Castles and Centipede and Millipede are all trackball games, and none of them are going to control with a trackball, but you do need at least 4 directions for it, so okay. You have a select and a start button here. You have an A and a B, of which I don't think any of these games need more than an A, but we have an A and a B. Look, these things are designed for mass production. So just because you only need a left or a right, you're going to get a 4-way D-pad. Just because you need 1 button, you're going to get 2. These are universal, so they work with all of the games. Although, ironically, Asteroids had 2 buttons and only used 1 of them. You had to pull back for hyperspace. There's just some odd decisions going on with these Super Micros, these little keychain gamers. But we're not going to judge Centipede by Asteroids. We're going to judge it on its own merits.
On the top, power on off switch. On the side over here, you have the volume up down rocker. And if we've learned anything, it's that these have 4 positions. It's going to be mute at the bottom, and then 1, 2, 3 for quietest, medium, and loudest volume level. On the back here is the battery door. You provide your own 3 AAA batteries by taking this little screw off and putting your batteries in. And then up top, you have a single rear firing speaker. Those are all the vital stats. So let's go ahead and peel off this little fake Centipede screenshot, throw some batteries in this thing, and give it a test drive. Okay, batteries in, let's go. Hyper Megatech. Yeah, they boot fast, you gotta give them that. All right, so let's make sure the volume all the way up. So you hear a little bonking. All the way down. Mute, yep, so 1, 2, 3, full level. All right, so Centipede, Millipede, Crystal Castles. Let's start with the title game, Centipede. All right. Yeah, looks very much like the Atari 7800 version of Centipede, down to the Centipede crawling around inside of the logo here. Yeah, you're able to pick the levels. Novice, Standard, Advanced, Expert. Yeah, you know, and same thing though, we do have 2-player alternating. So does it actually 2-player alternate? Let's do the base function first before we dive into criticizing the whether or not the multiplayer works. So 1-player, standard, and in we go. Yeah. Now, again, since these are, I mean, this in particular is a 7800 port, or I'm thinking it's really close. I'm thinking it is an NES on a chip rewrite of 7800, just from the variability of the sounds, how they deviate slightly from what I'm accustomed to. There's a flea. But it's not bad, actually. I mean, it performs really well. You can zip across the screen. Look, there's some acceleration. If you hold down, in absence of a trackball, that's really nice to have on trackball and spinner games. If you hold down on the directional, will it get faster? So look, I hold down, speeds up as he goes across. So that's, you know, if you're not going to have a trackball, that's the next, wow, that was over fast. If you're not going to have a trackball, that's the kind of the next best thing. Let's jump in again. And this spider sound is pretty good. You know, it's a serviceable port of Centipede, honestly. I mean, it's. I don't think it's an original anything, by which I mean it's an original port on this NES on a chip, but it's not the original 7800, but mighty close. Mighty close. All right, now I want to, oddly, you can't hit pause. Start will pause you, but the only way to get out of a game is off and back on. The manual even says to change games, off and back on, which is kind of weird to me, but make sure we're full volume. So let's see. This says 2-player alternating. Now, certainly competition, I guess. Team play you can't do. Dual-player competition, 2-player alternating. Let's see. So if I start 2-player alternating, that's all good. So I need to die. So where's the spider? There he is. Come get me, spider. All right. So can I, in fact, alternate with player 2? I cannot. I cannot. So, look, leave it in there and make it alternating, or take it out. You know, it seems very, it's just such a tease to have, you can jump into Centipede and just go, oh, nice, 2-player alternating. Look, I get we can't do team play simultaneous on screen at the same time, but the fact that, you know, do a little ROM hack, take out those options. That's not rocket surgery. And the fact that you're porting it in the first place, you're already dinking with the code, take that out too. All right, it's decent. For a single-player Centipede, decent. I'm not mad at that Centipede. Let's try Millipede, shall we? Yeah, look, you can pick your starting score, and that's where the difficulty setting. It's like can you hear that constant? It's like a beep. That might just be an artifact of something. All right, so we're going to pick starting at 0. You know what? No, you know what? I think this is the 2600 Millipede. I beg your pardon. This is not the 7800. And it's not exactly that. So you get a conversion of the 7800 conversion of Centipede. You get a conversion of the 2600 conversion of Millipede. And heaven knows what we're going to get for Crystal Castles. I mean, all that being said, the 2600 Millipede is serviceable. I mean, in every case, you know what I'd rather have had? The original arcade game. But then again, trackball problems. That's going to be a whole other can of worms to open, I expect. And if you're If you're going to put trackball games together on something and don't give us a trackball, might as well use the ones that were originally designed to work with a D-pad in the first place, right? I suppose. Shall we round out this trifecta and check out Crystal Castles? I think we shall. All right, so let's see. Select works here, 2, 3. Now there was a baby version of Crystal Castles. See that on here? Was it? It might have been 9 or 0. I feel like it showed a little teddy bear in the menu when you pick it. Anyway, I have no confidence that these are the actual selections from the 2600 version of Crystal Castles, though the start screen looks like it. I can hit start. Start doesn't do anything. A does something. All right, there's... Okay, I'm trying to... I mean, you gotta love some Bentley Bear. I know my man MC Murr. He's a Bentley Bear fanatic. What am I... Oh, this is... Okay, this is... How do I explain this? Oh, you hear that? It's like a high-pitched whine. You hear it? It's just a constant little wee that I have to ignore. I think you heard it. Hopefully you heard it. And then it went away. It went away. So here's the thing. This is... I mean, okay, let me finish a level at least before I try to explain what I'm sensing. Where I'm getting to is you don't want to play this version of Crystal Castles. But I'm going to explain in a second why that is. Maybe you can figure it out as you see me struggle with the map. Yeah, there come the bees because I'm too slow. There's that high-pitched noise again. Can I finish this one? I got a few more over there. The diagonal is my problem. The diagonal... And it's not that I can't do a diagonal. Would you guys go somewhere else? Come on, I can't even... Look, I can't jump you because I can't move in the right direction. You're just going to sit there, going to camp out so I can't finish the screen? Yes. You've got to... Enemies have to move. You have to get off of that. You can't just park on the dots. You have to go somewhere. And I can't... Okay. Problem number 2, the second problem first, is, look, the enemies are just parking on the dots. How am I ever going to get those dots? If I can't get down there to where they... Start again. Is this an anomaly? You gotta go somewhere. How will you ever finish this game if the monsters are just sitting on the dots? Okay, that's second problem first. First problem second is this game is isometric, meaning it's in a 45-degree angle. So you've got to move diagonal. Here's the problem. It's so hard to demonstrate. If you move like upright on this hallway, you should run from here all the way to bump into that wall. There's the bees. So, but when you move at a diagonal, you're going to move... The diagonal is at a different angle. See that? See, so I'm way down here and I move diagonally. And if I can even find a place to start. And I'm bumping into walls. Move diagonal. And I bump into that wall. I should pass all the way past that. So it's like rather than moving at 45-degree angles, or whatever angle this is, a 30 when you get to this isometric, he's moving at like a 32-degree, like 2 or 3 degrees off. So when you move diagonally... There, I think you can see it there pretty well, right? So if I pass through this, from where I was, that's the end of this, and I move across, it should take me straight diagonal. So you can't do that. When I'm moving, I hold the diagonal, and it's bumping me into, look, the edge of that. That's a great example. From up here, if I move down left, oh, look, the monsters are moving. Finally, can I go finish a screen? But see, I can't move diagonally. If I start here and move diagonally, he's bumping into the wall, and he doesn't slide through it. And I can't even jump. Ugh. Look. This is an exercise in frustration. The 2600 port was right. This is a math problem. Someone ported this and said, all right, well, if I move diagonally, but maybe you're moving straight 45 and the screen's at like a 30 or something. You see that? Oh, it's hard to illustrate. You can park here and go down left. There we go. There we go. That's a great example. Look, from here, if I move down left, it should take me all the way. It bumped me into this wall. It should take me all the way down here. I don't understand what Blaze is doing with these. They have such a good reputation for preservation of games. And I understand these keychain games are just little gimmicky collectibles, but at the very least, they should be playable. Oh, I actually have a chance. Look, the guys are they're off of the dots for a moment. They finally moved. All right, so my second criticism was just a matter of like, maybe on some levels they'll move. But you've got to, look, it's a race against the controls, fighting with those bees that come down. Can I finish the screen? Maybe I can do it. 2, 3. I finally did it. It only took me 7 men. I can't imagine. And then I'm dead right away. I can't imagine. This is, like, see, diagonal there, it's bumping me into the wall. I start at the corner and move diagonal, bump into the wall. So you got to move kind of down and over and up and over and... No! This is not... It's not that I'm upset that it's not exactly the 2600 game. Because, look, the Centipede was okay. The Millipede was okay. This is an exercise in frustration that punishes you for trying to play this port. And if you're going to go through the effort of converting it, go through the effort of testing it. Play it. Make sure that it works. At least set it side by side with the thing you're copying and go, is it comparable? Does it follow similar rules? Can I actually accomplish the things I need to accomplish? And in this case, I would say, for Crystal Castles, you didn't even come close. Look, Centipede, Millipede, on here, if that's what you're buying this for, those are not bad. Those are good conversions of conversions. But Crystal Castles is... Nope.
I'm really not sure what to think about these. So these little units, these little keychain gamers, specifically from Hyper Megatech, the names attached include Blaze, Hyper Megatech, and PlayOn. 3 manufacturers and distributors who are well known for putting out quality products with attention to detail. It's almost like they have a junior varsity squad because it was 2019, the last time that an acceptable release was, oh, we have the IP for whatever game it is, find some version, throw it on a little gadget, ship it out the door, and call it done. Well, consumers have become more sophisticated in the interim. We take a critical eye to those things. We talk to manufacturers. We tell them we want original versions. We want quality. We want correct fidelity and sounds and everything. And it almost feels like... Were these manufactured in 2019 and they're just shipping? It's a very odd position, especially for the pedigree from the companies that are manufacturing this. I don't know what there is. Is it just we make it cheap enough and people won't care? I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe at retail, you throw the logo on it, put it at the end cap, and it will sell. But for discerning collectors and fans of these games, we see that it's not just... It'd be one thing if we were just nitpicking, like, that's not exactly the version I wanted. But in the case here of Crystal Castle, you can't even play it. Like, it's not that it's odd fidelity or the colors are off or the sound is weird. It's the mechanics of the game that are how you're able to play it are fundamentally broken. Now, in its defense, Centipede and Millipede, while still ports of ports, very playable here, fine. I think you could have a good time with those. But it's almost like just because you can include Crystal Castles, if you're going to convert it, have someone play it. Find out if it works. Find out if it makes you angry. Find out, I don't know. Look, we're not done. We have one more of these to go. In parallel, we're also looking at the My Arcade Pixel Pockets that are hitting at a much better rate, tend to do a little more attention to detail, more accurate emulation, those all sorts of things. But I want to finish this series because what I'm hoping, there's one more to go. I'm hoping that's going to be the one, right? We're going to do that one and go, aha, here's why this series exists. This one is worth the cost of admission. This is the one that we're waiting to get to. It's number 4. They saved the best for last. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm holding out hope it is. So we will do that. Meanwhile, I will throw links to other reviews of this type I've done over my shoulders here and here you can click on to watch right now. Of course, I hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.